Don't panic about bullying. Today we want to talk about a very serious issue that can affect a lot of young people, far too many young people. If it affected one young person, it would be one too many. And it's something very different to the falling out and the day-to-day things of friendships and with family and things like that. This is something very specific when we're talking about bullying. It's nasty, it's wrong, and it needs to be stopped. Tina, bullying.
It's a biggie. It's one of the biggies, I think. And how we help. And the people that have come to me have taken the biggest step.
Right.
In coming and saying I've been bullied, because I think anyone who has been bullied realises that if they go and tell someone, which is the right thing to do, it's going to escalate. But they're already in trouble, they're already suffering, so they do need help, because bullying is nasty and we need it stopping.
How would you define bullying?
We've talked about over the last couple of times about friendships and breaking down in a friendship. Bullying is something, it can develop from a friendship when you decide that actually this person I don't really want to get on with, I'm stepping away from this friendship. They don't like that, so they can start being nasty. It can lead to cyberbullying. It can be nasty things being said in text messages or through other people. It can be turning, whole classes against you. And generally, actually, the bully is someone who has been bullied.
So we're talking about like systematic, and by that I mean again and again and again, victimisation.
Yes.
So you systematically, someone's being picked on again and again and again. That can be verbally, that can be physically.
Yeah.
So that can be violence, emotionally.
Yeah.
So to the point where someone's very frightened, and they might feel frightened about telling anyone. We had that story of the bag of worries. The girl with the bag of worries, and with those monsters inside, and she was carrying it herself. And that's what bullies want, isn't it? They want somebody to be too frightened to tell somebody else.
Yeah.
They know that if somebody else is told about it, then they will be found out. So they are operating in fear, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the person who is being bullied is the one, the difficulty is for them is to actually tell somebody else. And once they've made that step, they can be helped.
So again, when we were talking in the first episode, we talked about who we tell. Yeah. So in a bullying situation...
In a bullying situation, tell your parents, tell someone at school, someone that you trust, someone that you can rely on.
Somebody that will believe you.
Someone, exactly. Yeah.
So it's very important that you tell somebody that you can trust, who you can believe. And some people might find that difficult to begin with, might they? So that's why they set up things like Childline and different things to help people to be able to make the first step to tell another person.
And sometimes, the good thing about things like Childline is that you're on the other end of the phone, so you're not actually seeing another person, because that can be difficult when you are so scared and so frightened because of how you feel, because of how you're being treated. Then sometimes it is you need to put a mask on in order to tell that person.
So you said bullies often are people who've been bullied. So if somebody's watching this who is a bully, what are the problems? Why are they doing it? What?
Sometimes I would say it's learnt behaviour, really, and sometimes people bully because they're in fear.
Right, in fear of?
In fear of themselves, in fear of being hurt themselves. So they just think that that's the natural thing to do.
Do you think sometimes they don't realise what damage it does to other people?
Absolutely, yeah. And so the damage that they have received is overshadowed because they can feel better by doing it to somebody else.
Yeah.
It sort of, covers up.
Yeah, I mean, classically that never lasts, does it? People think it makes them feel better, but it doesn't.
No.
And the damage that it causes to them, as well as the awful damage that it's caused to people who are bullying. So it is a very serious issue. It's a very serious issue, well, throughout life, really. But I think it's particularly prevalent amongst young people. I think it can happen very easily.
Very easily, and I think if you're brave enough, then go to someone who you can trust and tell them how you feel.
And if you're a bully, stop for a moment and think what that's doing to somebody else and how you would like that to be done to you. Jesus said that we should treat others as we would want them to treat us. Jesus said that we should look after those who are weak and vulnerable. We should never ever use any power that we have, any strength that we have, to hurt other people, because quite simply it's wrong, and God doesn't want us to do that, and it causes a lot of hurt. So we know, first of all, if somebody's being bullied, it's not your fault. Sometimes people can think that it's their fault that they're being. No, it's not. It's wrong what's happening. Secondly, you need to try and be brave and tell someone, because it's already a situation that has to be dealt with. And you might think, oh well, it'll make it worse. Well, it has to be sorted. There are different ways that you can do that with somebody you can trust, but it is important to do something about it. And if you are a bully, stop it. So we'll ask God to look after all those people at this time who need especially our prayers. Lord, be with us on our journey. Amen.